Okay, we're good to go. Some of the small stuff built here. And we are live. What's up, Red Squeak? How are you doing? Doing a little bit of a different stream today. We're kind of doing the live Q&A about live streaming as an artist, which you are with photography. So I wanted to talk about how to grow as a channel and mostly talk about all the substances. Okay, got a camera off. There we go. Now we're back. What's up, Melissa? So I wanted to talk about the actions that you take as a creator on YouTube and how to grow as a YouTube channel. Because most of the creator advice that I sought when I was growing the channel was all wrong. And it wasn't because they were doing a bad job, like all the gurus, if you will, on YouTube weren't doing a bad job. They were necessarily not appealing to what my content was. So most of the advice I got was talking about either a gaming channel where you have a separate monitor and screen going and most of the action is played on the game, or the talking head videos where they're just literally talking into the camera and not doing live action like I'm doing on a daily basis. So like all my camera settings were wrong. Hey, what's up, Melissa? How you doing? What's up, John? How you doing today? Good to see all my happy people in here. So yeah, this is a different stream. We'll be making some stuff as we go, but I'm mostly answering questions about live streaming. If I miss a question, I'm hoping the mods can keep an eye on it and let me know so I can answer it. Or let the people know that if they have a question and I missed it, I will try and answer it. But yeah, so mostly it is a adventure about live streaming and how we grew and got monetized and grew this channel. All right, so I'm just putting a few colors together real quick, and then I'll show you the pen we did last night. I tried to come back on last night, but the burn on my finger was just too intense. I couldn't get rid of it. It was burning my butt off. So yeah, it was kind of hard. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, the burn was super intense on my finger. It just kept sizzling. It wouldn't go away. So I had to put some Silverdyne on it. And by the time it calmed down, it was already 10:30 at night. So it was just crazy. Anyway, so yeah, we're answering questions about live streaming or growing your content creation channel. We were able to monetize in 41 days, which isn't the fastest, but it's not the slowest. And how I grew the channel, the advice that I found useful, and the advice that was not accurate for my particular scenario. Okay, there's the pen from last night. So we did Fiery Mom's glass calligraphy pen. Oh my God, it looks really good. I'm so excited about this. I think it came out good. So let's see if I can pop that off like that. And then we're going to fire polish that end. Really smooth. And we'll get that all mellowed out. And we'll pop it back in the kiln to make sure it tempers properly. But yeah, so as the title says, we were able to monetize very, very fast on this channel, all through live streaming. It wasn't videos that did it. It was this right now, live streaming. That got me monetized in 41 days. Not everybody's comfortable being live in front of a camera, but there's nothing to worry about with it. Yeah, it was a pretty intense burn. I it didn't think it was as bad as it was. It's not blistered yet though. Yeah, the burn didn't blister. It was shock. I was kind of shocked by it. So today we're also going to work on this was the initial iris petal that I did when we did the first one. We're going to take that and we're going to take all the little bits today and turn it into a marble. I have all the little scraps from the big iris we did, and we're going to create a marble out of it. So it's kind of like a recycle. There we go, side camera. So you can see all the little bits in there. We're going to go ahead and I don't even need to preheat those. They're already small. So no big deal. But yeah, so we went ahead and did some amazing stuff. So this is the diamond painting pen. Okay, I'm not familiar with diamond painting that well, but we created the little tip on there for the diamond painting pen. I also call it a dabber. Some people will know what a dabber is. I don't want to say dabbing. But yeah, oh, that popped off really fast. Wow. That was a little scary. That might have just fallen off when I was making it. But anyway, so definitely want to talk question and answers about live streaming and how I grew the channel, how I got monetized in 41 days, what grew, what didn't, what advice I used that was accurate, and what advice I took that was wrong. The tools I used to grow. And that was the really important part, is what tools did I use to grow my channel? One of the main tools I used was a app called vidIQ, VIDIQ, and it helped me grow a lot. There was a Discord channel for them that I used a lot and got a lot of feedback. vidIQ was really, really good for growing. I think that worked out really well. And then I watched photography channels for learning how to set my camera. So when I first started live streaming, I had my camera set up for talking head videos. Everybody was talking about this background blur and the fast shutter speeds, and it was not good for my channel. The fast shutter speeds let too much light in. I want the background to actually show up. I don't want to blur it. But I bought all the lenses and all the equipment for what everybody was saying was needed to like grow your channel, look good. And it was all wrong for me in particular. One of the best tools I found for live streaming is your actual phone. The phone is natively designed to autocorrect a lot of colors and bright flashes. It doesn't mean it'll be perfect. It won't be optimal, but it definitely worked better than some webcams and some things that just didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work. How can you donate? There should be a little button down there. But yeah, so that didn't work at all. We're going to be creating the memorial marbles too. So we're going to make some of these today. I'm going to finish these up. This was the custom one we did with Bree, the dog, with the light blue and the brown. Let me bring that out. And while I'm working, I'm just going to chat. So if you guys have questions while I'm working, don't hesitate to ask. I do love that. And I'm hopefully going to help you guys. If you're starting a channel, have a channel, it's having a hard time growing, I can give you my advice as to what's worked for me. And it doesn't mean it's perfect. It's just what worked for me. And hopefully you can take one small sample of that and use it to grow your channel. You know, that's the main thing. What kind of phone do you have? I used an iPhone. I had the 15 Pro Max to start with. I found the Samsung to be pretty good, but if you want to make live streaming really, really super simple and using your phone, one of the negatives is trying to read the captions on your phone. So for me, I can't have my phone real close. I'm going to burn it. I'll overheat the phone. So I ended up using a screen mirroring technique. So you could take a laptop and screen mirror your phone to your laptop or to a separate monitor off the laptop, enlarge your entire view, and then you could read all the captions. So like right now, we've got monitor 1, which is right in front of me. I got monitor 2, which is monitoring my stream. And then the third one up there is for TikTok, but we are on YouTube only right now. So we're only on YouTube right now. So let me just finish up this prep real quick. We're only on YouTube. I'm not doing TikTok right now because it doesn't apply to the TikTok set. TikTok settings are completely different than YouTube. So if you want to grow on TikTok, that is a completely different set of settings. And there's some very important TikTok advice in there too. If you want that, let me know. I'll be happy to answer TikTok as well. I have 3 TikTok accounts. One of them has 115,000 followers. The other one has 95,000. And then the one that I normally use now has 35,000. That's not going to work. I got to leave that separate. And one of the questions I get is, why do you not use your 115,000 follower account for TikTok? And I'll tell you, one of the reasons I don't use it is because the account grew so fast that they flagged it as being a fake account. They didn't delete it, but they flagged it. I wasn't eligible for a lot of monetization because I grew to 115,000 followers. I think it was like 30 to 60 days. And they flagged it as growing too fast. So I created a second account, and that one grew pretty rapidly, but I slowed it down a little. And that one got going pretty good, but then I got caught up in a agency dispute. So I had to leave an agency, and then I kept getting flagged on that account because I think the agency was mad I left them. So they kept like flagging my account. So I created the third one as kind of like a blind TikTok account, and that one's doing pretty good. All right, last little nub that we're going to put together here, and then we're going to start making some marbles. Let's do the iris spare parts marble first. We'll do that one, and then I'll go into the memorial. But yeah, if you have questions about the live streams, how to grow, what to do on a live stream, how do I set it up, what I recommend, I'm happy to answer questions. I grew in 41 days. From September 1st, roughly, actually it was September 5th, but September 1st, roughly, to fully monetized in 41 days. And it was a fun adventure. Now, I got a little lucky. I did it during Christmas time, so views were up higher. During Christmas, live streams are a little bit more boosted. October, November, December. So that's a great time to grow. But yeah, that's definitely one of the problems that I had was growing too fast on TikTok. And then YouTube was breaking through the algorithm. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to start using all these little bits here. I'm going to show them to you. They're going to crack along the way, which is fine. We're going to use all these little bits, and we're going to use the main petal from the iris, and we're going to start making a marble out of it while I'm chatting with all of you, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to grab some let's do a brown on the end of it. We'll do a brown punty rod. Or should we do blue? Let's do blue. We're going to add a little blue into this one. So we have the iris petal that we did the other night. This was the experimental one. So it doesn't have any purpose to it other than I wanted to see if it would work. But the colors look really fantastic. You can see we got all those rainbow colors coming through. So we're going to take that iris petal and turn it to a marble with all the other scrap. How much is it to run that flame consistently? You know, give me a second. Let me do the math on this for a second. I could probably do the math on it better per hour. And this is average, not like all the time. So roughly about $10 an hour. I would say it's about $10 an hour for me to run this flame, which is relatively cheap. I mean, it's not expensive. Ooh, I just felt that burn. So last night I got burned on my finger. I did something dumb. I grabbed the hot rod. So my finger's a little sensitive right now. And I just grabbed it the wrong way. So we're going to go ahead and melt this little petal in here. And that, yeah, that finger burn sucked. It was horrible. Yeah, it's about $10 an hour to run my flame. If I'm running the small flame that I had on just a few seconds ago, you're probably looking at $5 an hour. If I crank it all the way up to the maximum flame, we're probably talking $15 to $20 an hour. I'll show you that flame here in just a moment. We'll go ahead. We'll kick on the big flame for a minute, but that one probably runs closer to $20 an hour. But they average out. You don't need the large flame all the time. You don't need the medium flame all the time, and you don't need the small one all the time. So they balance out over time. Basically, what I did is I took my monthly expense versus how many hours a week I work or a month, and I just kind of broke it down per hour. So I spend roughly about $1,200 a month on gas between oxygen and propane. It's about $1,200 a month. And that's actually not too bad. If you're a beginning glassblower, it'll be a lot less, a lot less. So as a beginning glassblower, you're probably looking at, $2 to $3 an hour to run your flame. So this is my maximum flame. You can see it uses a lot more oxygen propane. So we'll just go ahead and rage it. So this is full bore, as hot as I could possibly get this flame. And that is roughly going to be in your $20 an hour range. And I don't recommend running that all the time because the heat coming back at me is a little hot. But we're going to go ahead and turn that down. There we go. Turn it way down. Your torch should essentially be running super silent. I don't know if you guys can hear the torch right now, but it shouldn't be loud. Yeah, it shouldn't be loud at all. Do I choose the color of the flame? No, the color is actually the way it is. I'm going to show you something. So my glasses use a filter called didymium. Didymium is this purplish blue flame color right here. But notice how the flame changes color under the filter. So that blue is actually the real color. That kind of baby blue is the color versus that white flame. The white flame you see is exactly why I'm doing this live stream too. So the white flame that you see is because the camera can't pick up the correct, it can't pick up the correct colors as I'm making this. So it struggles to match the what do they call it? F-stop or the shutter speed. So the camera is having a hard time matching the shutter speed all the time and the light that comes in, the ISO. That's it, ISO. So that was my biggest struggle. I was setting up all my live streams according to talking head videos because I watched way too many hours of YouTube gurus talking about camera settings. And everybody was talking about your talking head video. Okay, so like no flame, blurred background, correct lighting, all that stuff where everything's fixed. I don't have fixed lighting. My lighting is constantly changing according to my flame. So when I set it up originally, it did not look good. In fact, it was very bad. It was washed out. You couldn't see any of the colors at all. So I ended up getting a thing called an ND filter, trying to fix it. And the ND filter did not work properly. It helped, but it didn't work properly. And I ended up having to learn about camera settings, shutter speed, f-stop, ISO, whatever that stuff is. I don't know the correct terminology, but I did learn how to set it up. And then I figured out that my filter, like this in my glasses, was making my stream look bad too, because I saw something different than you guys. So this is how I saw everything. When the filter was going through like that, it did not look the same as what you saw. So there we are. So I was getting a different view even while working than all of you were getting. All right, so we got this little marble going. But yeah, there's a couple tools I use to grow my channel. One is called vidIQ, VIDIQ. I highly recommend it if you're doing a YouTube channel. I didn't put my affiliate link in there. I have an affiliate link, but I didn't put it in there because I don't want to be based on doing the stream because I want to make money off you. You can't hear the torch? Yeah, so that's another thing that I did here. This will be a good test. This I can do live. Ready? So I use a filter called NVIDIA. It's called NVIDIA Broadcast. Now most headphones and stuff or microphones have filters. NVIDIA Broadcast is the best. You all ready? So this is no filter right now. There we go. Hear the torch background? So that is no filter. And then when I put it on, it disappears. So NVIDIA Broadcast is an incredible tool, and I can adjust it according to how loud I want the torch. So you can change all that. Now the microphones themselves do have filters. I use a Rode Wireless Pro that does not have a filter, a processing filter. So this microphone that I'm currently using does not have one at all. All right, we're going to add this amber purple on here. And one of those things that happen with it is you'll pick up all that torch noise, but I'll show you the most important reason why I like a filter. Let me put this little bit of amber purple on here. We'll turn the filter off and I'll show you why it was really important to me. I can get a little bit of torch noise in here, which I think is helpful. A lot of people like to hear the sound of the torch, but there's a sound in here that you guys will hate. And it is the reason why I was so focused on microphones for a long time. And again, every microphone setting that the talking head gurus were putting out there was wrong for me. It wasn't wrong for YouTube, but it was wrong for me. So let's go ahead and turn the noise off, the noise filter. Okay, there we go. Now, if I'm running a little bit hotter, like that, this is a flame that I have to use sometimes, and you can hear the sound coming through. like that. But here's the sound everybody hates. Hear that glass rattling? People hate that. Or I found a lot of people hate it. Or when I'm tapping, like that. So I wanted to get rid of that. And then we turn the filter back on. And there we go. So that is one of the things that really I had to fix. So the most important thing I found to fix on here was audio. Audio was really important. We're going to add some of the shimmer color on here. Audio was the first thing I fixed. Visual, it helps to have a good visual, but audio, if it's bad audio, no one's going to listen, and they're going to leave your stream really fast. So that was one piece of advice that all the gurus did have that was correct. Bad audio equals bad stream. So audio was the very first thing I fixed. Now, surprisingly, the iPhone has a really good filter in its built-in microphone and filters out a lot of stuff. It worked really, really well. But when I started using a camera, it did not. Hold on, I need to find a little piece of glass here that I need. There we go. So we're going to mix all this up real quick. Oops, sorry, wrong view. So yeah, iPhone has a really good microphone system in it. Again, when I started with the 15 Pro Max. It worked really well. I now have the 17 Pro Max. It works pretty good. I honestly like the 15 Pro Max a little better. I've been debating on trying to find a used one again to use that for my live streams. A couple reasons. One, the 15 Pro Max had the titanium case, so I wasn't worried about breaking it. And I like the picture and the audio on it a little bit better than the 17, surprisingly. Okay, so we got this built up a little. I'll bring this back out. Now, the other thing that I discovered as I'm going through is I have the Stream Deck. So I have a Elgato Stream Deck, which is doing all my camera switching on the fly. So a couple buttons and I can switch my camera view and not have to use my mouse, which was another big, huge improvement. So when I started doing multiple cameras, I got the Elgato Stream Deck, and you can get the mini. I have the 6. I have a big one over here too. But it definitely made a huge difference in the production value of live streaming. And the last thing one of the things that I really did not like was I was so gung-ho on trying to make it work that I was thinking about doing all the coaching with all the different creators. You know, they offer these coaching sessions, which were great for talking head videos. But because I have a different environment, completely different setup than a talking head, I didn't pull the trigger on it right away. And I'm glad I didn't, because everything I would have been told was different. We're gonna use our grill here to mix. And one of the best pieces of advice I could give anybody starting out on their YouTube channel, or if you're struggling with your YouTube channel currently, okay, do not let anybody tell you that you're doing it wrong as far as your vision of your channel. I noticed on TikTok, I had signed up with an agency, like I said, and the first thing they did was go in and tell me that, you know, I need to change my lighting, I need to change my background, and I needed to start doing extreme content where, like, I make something and the biggest tipper gets to decide whether I trash the item in the water can or I save it. They were trying to direct me on how to do my content. And I was like, I followed the advice for a little bit on TikTok and it was going down. All my views were going down in the tank. And I finally realized that they weren't being super truthful about my content, but they were just telling me something to make it sound like they were doing a job. But it wasn't helping me at all. None of the advice helped me. In fact, it made my views go down. And that was when I was in a TikTok agency. I'm not going to mention the agency because I'm not going to trash them. But they were horrible in that aspect. And then I realized how much of a problem it was because I contacted my agency manager and I said, hey, how do I make money? I'm not making any money right now. And they said, well, you got to change your content a little bit to be a little extreme. So what you need to do is you need to get out there and you need to start battling on TikTok. Now, if you're familiar with TikTok at all, battling is where one creator pits against the other and you have your audience donating money to battle and win that battle. I don't like battles. I think they're stupid as hell. I really do. I think they're dumb as hell. And so they kept trying to push me into battles. And I couldn't figure out why. Why is this agency pushing me into battles? I don't want to battle. And then I realized it was a money grab. Because as the agency, they get 25% of your income. Okay. TikTok usually takes 50%, and you get 50% of, let's say, a $10, someone gives you $10. You get $5 of those $10. When you join an agency, TikTok only gets $2.50, and then the agency gets $2.50. And so it doesn't necessarily cost you anything, but they want you worrying about gifts only and not the actual content. Do whatever it takes to get as many gifts as you can because they're making money off you. And they didn't really help me with my content. They just wanted me to go in, take my audience that I'd built up over time, and use the audience. Like, use the audience. And I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to do it at all. I was not going to go that route. I'm not here to scam the audience out of gifts. And that was the first negative thing that happened that they did to me. And then afterwards, they created what I call the biggest scam in live streaming currently, or was. I don't know about now. But they told me that I could become a TikTok coach because I had grown so many channels. And they said, become a TikTok coach. I said, what is that? And they go, well, you go in and you audit. You charge someone $100, tell them you're going to audit their account. And then you go in and you look at their account for 5 minutes. And you tell them that you'll guarantee them 1,000 followers for $100. And I said, how do you guarantee 1,000 followers? And this is the nasty part why I left the agency. There are websites you can go to and purchase followers. So they gave me this link to a website. And they said, what you do is you go in, you set up your coaching, you tell them you're going to charge $100, 1,000 followers, money back guarantee. And right after they pay you the $100, you go in and you audit their account. And then you spend $10 and $10 on 1,000 followers, and then they get 1,000 followers from a bot farm, and you fulfilled your obligation. And that, to me, was the dirtiest, nastiest, worst thing I could ever think of doing to someone. That was like, that should be illegal. I don't even know if it is. But yeah, they wanted me to go in, charge someone $100 to coach them on TikTok, and then buy bot viewers for $10 and profit the rest. And they'll funnel me all the clients I need for 50% of my profit. And I left the agency. I had to leave. I could not do that. Oh, it was awful. Oh, I pay attention all the time. I'm watching. If you have a question, let me know. Yeah, you definitely have to talk to the audience. Sometimes I have to pay attention to the flame, but yeah, if you have a question, fire away. One of the mods will pin the question if I miss it. It's not legal? I didn't think it was legal. I really didn't. And the hard part is I tried turning them in for that, and I just got shut down by TikTok. Now, this was before the purchase, okay? This was before the US-based purchase. But I tried turning them into TikTok, and they're like, no, there's no violation for that. And I still have screenshots of that. I still have screenshots of them telling me the entire plan. Yeah, I definitely left. All right, so we got this little pattern on here. I'm going to spin this pattern up as we're going through it. All right, let it cool down. So if you have any questions, definitely ask away. How I grew my channel, how I legitimately grew it. Look at all those dots in there. We got all these little dots now. But yeah, nobody took it serious. But I did leave that agency, and they ended up coming after me really hard, trying to shut me up. So that kind of sucked too. But with YouTube, I've not experienced anything like that. So if you're on TikTok, there are like 2 or 3 agencies that are really good. And if you need advice on what agency to use on TikTok, I'm happy to give you my personal opinion on what agencies I think are really good. And you can go from there and judge for yourself. Find the one that fits you the best. And then the other thing to remember about an agency in TikTok is when you go to grow, you have to remember, let's say you join an agency and they have 10,000 creators in their agency. They say, we're the biggest agency on TikTok, so join us. How much attention do you think you're going to get when they have 10,000 creators in their pool? Not a lot. Not a lot of attention helping you focus on your channel. And so those are the things that I learned on there. Now, as far as YouTube is concerned, I've never encountered a problem with that. I've never encountered a YouTube problem with that. YouTube has been pretty good. It's actually been really good. And I still stream on TikTok. I just don't, it's not my main focus. So it's a great platform for discovery, but it's a horrible platform for monetization. All right, let's see how we did on this spiral here. Yeah, I don't like that aspect of it. But again, what I can tell you is when you're live streaming or you're doing content creation as an artist or a very interactive, back and forth, environmental live stream, or even a video, everything that a content guru will tell you, most of them, not all of them, is absolutely wrong for your channel. You know, you have to figure out what works, what doesn't, and create that environment that is really good for you. But like I said, I went on and I watched photography channels. None of them had live streaming content, if you will, but they talked about things that were really important to grow your channel. Like being in thirds. I didn't know what thirds were. I didn't know what being in thirds meant. I had to look it up and go through it. Thirds means my head is in the top third of the frame. So if I was down in the bottom third of the frame, it's less attractive, and the algorithm actually picks that up. The algorithm the AI will go in and it'll analyze your stream, and it'll look at, if my head is down here at torch level, it'll analyze that and determine that it's low quality that way. So being in the top thirds makes a huge difference. Literally the day I moved my camera from the low head count up here to the thirds, my live stream quadrupled in views. It went up by like 4 times. All right, so we're making this marble here. We're just kind of having fun. I'm kind of buzzing around. I'm not really focused on the marble too much. We're just kind of buzzing through it, creating something funky while I'm talking to you guys. Let's go ahead and pop the camera on here so you can see what we got. Look at that color on the back now. So we're creating a multi-tiered marble here. We're going to create multi-levels of color. Let's go ahead and add some clear on here and magnify this little section. Then we're going to pop on top of that as well. But yeah, it's definitely a big, camera position is really important. Also being at a slight side angle. Because if I had the camera facing this way and you saw nothing but flame and it was covering my face, the AI picks that up as well. So you will lose out on the algorithm or the AI recommending your content based on, can it see your face? Are you participating in the live stream? And yeah. So I grew my channel solely on live streams. I did not grow it on videos. I had, in fact, very low video views. I grew my entire channel on live streams. So if you don't know, on YouTube, streaming on vertical live streams gives you a push on the algorithm. Horizontal does not give you as big a push. Vertical is definitely a massive discovery engine. And you can use that to your advantage. You can also stream on YouTube dual. So right now I am streaming on horizontal and vertical both simultaneously. If you go to my channel, you can see that I have a horizontal feed and a vertical feed going simultaneously. So not only do you get the advantage of having vertical, but you can also have the advantage of a larger, wider screen on your horizontal, and you get twice the opportunity for views. So that was a huge change as well. All right, so let me explain what I'm doing right here, too. We're just magnifying this color here. Give me a second. And the biggest thing that I found the problem on YouTube to getting monetized is the watch hours. 1,000 subscribers isn't that hard. 1,000 subscribers isn't that hard to get, especially for live streaming on vertical. But it was the watch hours. You have to have 4,000 watch hours in a year. I ended up getting 4,000 watch hours in, I think it was 3 weeks. Like I had one live stream that went really pretty good on vertical, and I got 647 watch hours on one live stream. So I nearly hit 1/4 of my monetization number in one live stream. Had 647 watch hours. And it was a relatively short stream. It was only, I think it was an hour and a half. But we hit 143,000 views in the hour and a half. And then, like I said, 647 watch hours. So that was pretty amazing. Once I figured out all the little nips and tricks and everything in there, it definitely changed up. All right, so we're going to bring this out again. I'm going to show you where we're at. And I'm not super focused on the item I'm making right now. You guys get to watch it as we're going through. We're creating all the different colors here. But I really just want to answer your questions. You've never YouTube before, but just wanted to make a moment, say thank you for all your info. Oh, of course. That's why I'm on here. I'm on here to help people grow their YouTube channel. Because I had such a struggle getting there, figuring it out. It was definitely a tough one to do. To figure out the right settings and everything. And that was the hard part. I look like Guy Fieri. Yeah, I know Guy looks like me. The difference is my look is natural. I don't have any hair dye. I don't have any. This is how I've looked for like 30 years. So I have nothing against Guy. I like his content. I think he's amazing. And I think it's really cool. What is the old man doing? I am glassblowing and teaching you how to grow your channel. And yes, I'm old. I made it there. I made it to old. That's an accomplishment. I wish everybody makes it to old. Yeah, it's okay to be old. I'm okay with being older. I'm good with it. I've got life experience. All right, so we're going to add some more of these little nubs on here. I'm going to cover this with the color called amber purple too. We're going to make it kind of golden. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being old. At all. I love my job. I'll probably do this all the way into my 80s if I live that long. But I won't quit. I won't quit doing this. I'll do this job until I absolutely can't do it anymore. You have 943 subs and trying to get to your 4,000 watch hours. Matthew, do you live stream at all? Do you do any live streaming? This torch is called the Glass Torch Technologies, GTT for short. GTT is called is the brand, Glass Torch Technologies. They have like several models. If you're going to start glass blowing, I don't recommend this one. It's too big to begin with. It's way too big for a beginner torch, because you may end up breaking it, and you'd rather break a $500 torch than a $5,000 torch. This torch now with tax and shipping is about $5,000. Give or take $100 here or there. So yeah, you'd rather break a $500 torch than $5,000. You live stream all the time. You're a driver and a fisherman. Okay. So do you live stream in horizontal or vertical? We're going to help Matthew right now. Matthew, if you want, I'll help you right now. We'll talk about your live streams. We'll help Matthew on the fly. So do you live stream horizontal, vertical, or do you do both? Let's help Matthew get to his 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. And the only thing I ask is if you get there, help other people. Vertical. Okay. Do you do any horizontal live streams at all? Like, do you dual stream? Like right now, I'm doing dual. Okay, so we're adding all these little propeller-looking nubs on here. Just vertical. Okay. So in your vertical, while you're live streaming, have you gone into AI Studio on your Studio app and found out what time your audience is on? Like, do you know what time your audience is available? So you have 900, I think you said 943 subs. Do you know when your subs are on? No, you don't have to do what I'm doing, okay? You don't have to be glassblowing. You could be doing driving. You could be doing fishing. I promise you, you're going to be fine. Doesn't matter what you're doing. I'm going to help you out right now. We're going to help you get the 1,000 subs. By the way, if someone wants to go check out Matthew, I highly recommend give it a shout out. No, I could see them. Okay, so first thing I would do is go in and go into AI Studio, go into your analytics, click on audience, and see what time your audience is actually watching. Like my main audience is between 6 and 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is my main stream. That is when I know most of my subs are watching. Like right now, this is my off hours. All right, I'm messing this up. So there we go. So I have this, it's not blending properly. I got the 5 dots here, but they're not melting in right. I got to bring it down a little better. Yeah, YouTube Studio will tell you when your audience is on YouTube. Yes. So it gives you these like little charts and it has a 24-hour graph and it tells you what days and what times most of your audience is on. YouTube Studio is available on, yes, it is available on Google Play. Yes. Yep, YouTube Studio is available. It's one of the best tools you could use right now. Between 12 and 6. Okay. So that is one of the things I would focus on is when is your audience visible? And the other thing is to set your live stream up ahead of time. So if you know you're going to be on, let's say 6 p.m., go in and schedule a stream. 2 reasons. 1, it tells your audience that you're going to be on. And 2, it tells your audience what the subject is going to be. And 3, it lets them know via the notifications bell when you get on. They can actually say, you know, hey, I want to be notified when the stream happens. So you're building up pre-audience ahead of time. And your followers will now, your subscribers will now know that you're going to be live at this time. So you schedule it ahead of time, set the entire stream up, and then when the time happens, hit the go live button. But 2, while YouTube has a notification that you're setting your live stream up for a future stream, it starts letting more and more people know that are in your niche or your subject that, hey, this guy is going to be on, this creator is going to be on. And you may get a few extra views right off the bat. So set your stream up ahead of time, schedule it, And you can schedule it, an hour or two before you even stream. I schedule roughly about an hour to an hour and a half before my stream. Sometimes I miss that window, but I always schedule a stream. Yeah, start setting up a schedule. Also go into your YouTube channel under your header, your banner. Let people know that you go live during certain times. Say, okay, I'm going to be live on these days. All right, so here we go. We got this pattern coming out. We're going to make this look really cool here in a minute. Yeah, so set up your stream. Go into your YouTube channel, set your banner up, not your profile picture, your banner up to say, I'm going to be live during these days at this time. And that's going to help grow your channel as well. That is advice number 1. Oops, wrong bucket. Advice number 2 is to make sure you go in and make sure your audio is super clean, that people can hear you. If they can't hear you, they're not going to stay. Audio first. Hey, question. If I ever have a question about how can you reach out to me if you're not live? Oh, so go to my email. Yep. So I have email linked in my bio, but you can go to thefierieguy.com, which is the website I have, and you can see my email there. And you can message me at thefierieguy.com, and I'm happy to answer questions about live streaming. I'm not a guru, so I don't know everything. I just know what worked for me. I know exactly what worked for me and what didn't. And I can just, again, I'll reiterate, if you're watching hundreds of hours of YouTube videos of, I got monetized, how to grow 1,000 subscribers the easy way. If you see how to grow 1,000 subscribers the easy way, don't even bother watching it. It's not a good advice. 90% of the time. That's just a clickbait. What you want to do is watch for videos that say how to grow subscribers, what tools you use to grow subscribers, and definitely go in. And one of the things that I found is I went in all these like advice channels, and I looked at their content. Do they have a channel that's not an advice channel, like a personal channel, that is like popular? I went on one creator and they have like 150,000 subscribers for a how to grow YouTube channel, but their personal channel only has like 3,000 subscribers. And I look at it going, if you can't grow your own channel, why am I going to take advice from you? If you can't grow your own personal channel, why would I watch a video on how to grow your channel? You either live it or you don't. And again, that's 56-year-old me. I'm 56. I started at, late 50s doing live streaming, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. I started my entire live streaming process on TikTok. At the time that I started live streaming, Instagram was the bomb. Everybody in my particular field, which is glassblowing, was on Instagram. Okay, Instagram was how everybody was growing their channel, growing their business. And I started my Instagram account and I got no traction. 0. Because all the glassblowers on Instagram were already popular and I was trying to break through that platform. And I couldn't break through at all. So when I started live streaming, TikTok was mostly known as the dancing app, meaning, most people were on there doing the dances and the quick, non-artistic live streams. And when I went on there, a lot of people laughed at me saying, "Oh my God, TikTok's for kids. You're a moron. Instagram's where it's at." But I couldn't break through the Instagram platform. So I went on TikTok and everybody laughed and said, "You're a moron. You should, you're never going to grow on TikTok. It's for kids." And I figured my thinking was, if I go on Instagram and I have, let's say 500 followers, and I'll get maybe 10% of those watching my live stream over a period of time, that's not a good return. Or if I go on TikTok, which is less popular, and I have 250 subscribers, but I get half of them to watch my live stream, my ratio of live stream audience was much greater. So yeah, I started on TikTok. Discoverability was fantastic, still is. If you want to grow numbers real fast, TikTok is definitely a good channel for that. For sure. But Matthew, you could go ahead and email me and I'll take a look at your channel and I'll tell you kind of what I think. Take the advice with a grain of salt. It's free. Yeah, we're making a marble. We're doing so this is called a remix marble. It is a marble of scrap. So we made a giant iris the other night and I'm taking all the little scrap pieces and making a marble out of it. This is what I'm referring to as scrap. So we see all those little bits? Nothing there that's super useful. They're just little tail end of parts. And we're remixing it into an item that's actually useful. Does a shooter? I don't know. What size is a shooter? I don't know. How much money do I strictly from YouTube? It varies month to month. My first month was about $3,000 once I got monetized. My very first month was $3,000, and it's fluctuated up and down since then. Not game breaking, but not terrible either. All right, so what I'm running into here, see that combination where the light blue and that little ring right there? There is a gap in between that. We got a valley that I need to correct. So I'm going to run this over. Watch the light reflection in the middle portion only. And you'll see it kind of wobble. See how that light is wobbling around right there? See that wobble? That's telling me I got a valley, peaks and valleys in there. So I got to fix that. I appreciate the sub. But yeah, the income can definitely vary. Yeah, Red Squeak, I can definitely help you, Red Squeak. You know that. But yeah, my first month was pretty good. But that was during Christmas time that I got monetized. So the Christmas time revenue is a lot higher than right after Christmas, January, it dropped significantly to half. Yeah, right after Christmas, January, February income was half. So definitely during Christmas, the advertisers are spending a lot more during then. And then you get monetized on TikTok too. TikTok's not a good monetization tool. You can do okay on it, but you constantly have to depend on live stream only income. Versus when I finish this live stream, this will get archived into YouTube, and every 1,000 views that someone goes in and watches this live stream, which is archived forever, evergreen content, it'll continuously pay me. So this video may generate me $10 in a month, let's say. But if you have 3,000 videos generating $10 a month because they're evergreen, they're constantly there, start doing the math. It starts adding up really fast. Versus TikTok, when you're done, you're done. There is no extra monetization there. Okay, I am having a major problem with this marble. It's not, I'm going to have to flip the sides here. So this is the other thing that I like about live streaming on YouTube as well, also TikTok. I don't edit out the fail. So like if I got a marble that like right now is failing me, I'm not going to edit this out in my video. Look at that. Actually, I like that streak though. It's looking good. So I'm not going to go in and edit out the fail part. I'm going to show you the mistakes. And I think that is one of the things that other channels do that I don't like, is they only show you the fluff. I call it the fluff. Where they go in and they say, okay, you know, here's how you do it. Everything's good. There's no bad. And that's not real. That is not real. You know, there are definitely, you know, things that go wrong. Oh, hear that torch picking up? This is where that filter kicks in. So I was talking about the audio filter. You might be able to hear the torch right now, but let me see if I can. Yeah, I got a little bit of it. All right, so if I turn my filter off, we're going to remove the background noise. Now you can hear that noise. It makes it hard to hear what I'm saying. So when I use the audio filter, there we go. So that's what I was saying. Audio is most important, more than visual. If nobody can hear you, they're not going to want to listen to you. All right, let's get this thing fixed up. I don't like the way it's looking. But I can tell you a lot of my subscribers and a lot of my viewers that are currently on right now, especially my mods and stuff, my regular people, members and subscribers, will tell you, I've been in the middle of a live stream and had spent 2.5 hours on an item, and then it drops on my bench and breaks. And that's life. That's reality. That's what people want to see. Not the crap of, you know, everything's all good. You know, I consider myself like a NASCAR channel. You go through and you watch for the wrecks. Yeah, you're waiting for the wreck to happen. And it happens a lot. Last night, I burned my finger. You know, those things happen. And that's where I feel like it's a genuine content. Ooh, we got it all melted down. We're looking good. It's genuine content versus, you know, the fluff. Yeah, like Cruising goes through, like Cruising just said, one of my mods on here, very awesome person, goes through and watches the replays. And I've enabled, that's the other thing that you do on your settings. I didn't know you could do this, and I didn't know it was a setting on YouTube. So when you create your live stream, you enable chat replay. I didn't have it enabled for a long time. So if someone was watching my live stream, they couldn't go through and see what I was talking about. Someone has a question, I answer the question without reading the question off, and it just sounded like I was talking to air. Yeah, 3 feral kittens, 1 month old today. I don't know how I'm gonna let them get adopted. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, feral kittens are no fun to deal with. All right, one more little bit here. Yeah, hockey, you watch for the fight. Exactly, Cruising just said. So Cruising's on the horizontal feed right now, and Cruising said that they watch hockey for the fights. Same thing on my live stream. You're going to watch for when I fail or have something awesome come out. but I don't edit the failures out. Like right now, this marble's failing in the middle section. I can't get it to blend very well. And it looks like I'm just spinning my wheels here, but I'm trying to get this crevice out of it. Yeah, and it just makes it worse and worse and worse. The other thing that if you are doing YouTube, the one setting I didn't know that was bad to check, but I had it checked because I thought I was doing the right thing, was made for kids. So if you are on YouTube and you have your made for kids checked on your YouTube channel, if you have it checked, made for kids, you will get throttled in your live stream. Your live stream will not hit any adults really. So you want to make sure you hit not made for kids. My very first videos I had made for kids because I thought I was doing the right thing because I don't cuss, I don't swear, I don't do anything controversial. So I was like, oh, it's made for kids. Nope. Not accurate. Not the way to go. All right, here we go. Let's check a look at the colors. Oh, we got it looking good. And then we got all the little peaks and valleys fixed up here. Yeah, this is kind of a cool little remix marble. Oh, look at that blue. Wow. We got blue and amber purple back there. Looking fantastic. And here we go. We're going to come through and we're going to heat this up. So this tool is made by one of my mods called Dragonfly Creation. They make really cool glassblowing tools. We're going to lock it in here. And a lot of people ask, how do you get the marble off the rod? And here you go. You just tap. It leaves this little, oh, this will show perfect. It has a little what's called a punty mark on here. So you can see that little jagged circle right in the middle. So that's called the punty mark. And we're going to polish that out real quick. Like that. No smoking accessories. I don't do that on here. I really don't even make them anymore because they're just not something that appeals to me. It's not something I'm super interested, and I don't want to show it on live stream because reality is once you see one piece being made, you've seen 100 of them being made. There's no exclusivity to that. All right, let's check. Watch this color change. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Look at that. We got a little galaxy. Ooh, look at that shimmer in the middle. Holy crap. That just looks out freaking standing. That looks really good. Then we park that in the kiln. So what I just did there is also one of the live stream things that you got to show while you're coming through. So I just finished the marble. I showed you part of it, and then I showed you a little surprise at the end of how the color interacts with light. So that is something that I highly recommend that you do on your channel if you're live streaming. You got to have a reward and payoff. Definitely have to have the reward and payoff. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take these little bits. I'm going to pour them out on the bench here in just a second. So these are little bits of color that I was making a big iris from. And we're going to turn them into another marble. And we're going to go ahead and dump them on the bench right now. Like that. So this is all scrap glass. It's all, technically, a lot of people would throw this away. I'm going to recycle it. So we're going to go ahead and recycle all that. And turn it into something useful. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . But yeah, you definitely have to go in and create an environment when someone's watching your live stream. A, do they get a benefit from it? Are you learning something? Is there a visual aspect that they don't get to see anywhere else? You know, are those type of things happening in the live stream, or are you just sitting there? Not talking to anyone is a horrible thing too. You know, got to interact with people. All right, let's go ahead and start this. Now this may crack because it's not preheated, but we're going to start it off. Like that. And let it set for a second because it's a little floppy. Oh, see, I told you a little bit would fall off. There we go. Little bits falling off, and that's okay. So this is the part of my live stream where I start showing how to take scrap glass and the things that happen with it and the things that don't. And we're going to go ahead and incorporate it into a live stream. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure that when you're hitting your audience, you engage. You know, I try to engage people as much as possible. Okay, we're going to come through and we're just going to pick up a little bit like that. So I'll be picking it up from this area so you guys can see, oh, that's going to be hot. And we're going to pick up a little bit as we start going through. Now, one of my favorite tools that I use for live streaming is a tool called vidIQ. It goes over a lot of things that are helpful. I use it for title help. I use it for watching what other people are doing, not necessarily to copy them, but to see what type of things are actually working and what doesn't, like thumbnail, title, what things are in their thumbnails and titles that are working. I don't need any help creating an idea. I have those all to myself. The other thing vidIQ does is it helps you a lot with stats. YouTube Studio also now provides that. I think YouTube Studio, the implementation of the AI in YouTube Studio has been huge for my channel. And I do use AI for helping me create my titles, my descriptions, and most importantly for tags. So I don't use one AI either. I use 3 separate AIs and I pressure test against each other. So I'll use Claude, I'll use ChatGPT, I'll use Gemini, and I'll run, let's say I run a prompt through ChatGPT and I say, hey, what do you think about this live stream? This is my idea, my concept. It gives me feedback. And I'll take that feedback and I'll prompt it into Claude. And I'll say, pressure test this idea. Then Claude comes back and says, well, most of it's good, but I think this would work better. And then I take Claude's answer and I feed it through Gemini. And Gemini gives me another pressure test. And then the last thing I do is I take both of those pressure tests and I feed them back through ChatGPT and say, okay, here's what the other AIs have said. And then it helps decipher whether or not ChatGPT was hallucinating, whether it's just telling me what I want to hear, or if there's genuinely a good idea that A, I missed, that A, ChatGPT missed. There's definitely some hallucinations, and you have to prompt your AI to definitely help you. What if I'm not camera friendly? For example, I lost all my teeth from using scoliosis and can't stand up straight, something I want to watch. What content could you make? What do you like to do, first of all? Okay, you don't have to be face friendly. Okay, as I said, the first thing I would recommend is audio. Okay, you want to focus on audio. So make sure your voice is clear. Okay. But what's your content? Who is that? Bradley. Bradley, let's help you out. Let's help you out, Bradley. Let's get you live and doing some cool stuff. Right now I'm making some blown glass marbles with scrap. I'm recycling. We're doing recycling glass. I'm taking all these little bits from a project that we did a couple days ago, and I'm recycling them into a thing. You draw and paint action. Oh, that's very cool. So here's the two things I would do. If you don't want to be on camera, get a wireless microphone or a microphone. I would recommend, if you're doing painting and drawing, I would recommend a wireless microphone, not a fixed microphone. 2, set your camera down from top down. So do a top-down camera or a POV view, because most of the time people are going to want to see what you're making, not necessarily what you look like if you want. So do a top-down camera. There's a lot of cool tools out there for that. Just a stand, top-down webcam, and focus on your hands and the artwork that you're actually doing. Wear a wireless microphone. Why wireless? Because you are constantly moving your hands and you're moving things around. And that microphone sitting in front of your face can interfere with actually doing your artwork. When I first started, I had a fixed microphone and I kept bumping my microphone with my glass rods. So I'd be making something and whack my microphone with a glass rod. So top-down camera, for sure. There's a couple good webcams that do that really well. If you can get one, get a PTZ camera. A PTZ is one that pan, tilts, and zooms. And you can do top-down and have it focus on your hands. So when your hands are moving, the camera will follow you around. If you don't want to have that, then just do a fixed point down, top-down camera, or POV. So you come a little bit behind your head, have the camera behind your head, down towards the paper or artwork or canvas that you're doing, and have it that way. Then you don't have to show your face. There's actually a lot of cool channels that don't show their face. All right, so we're making this into actually, this is going to be a cool marble. I'm not going to add any other color to it. We're going to leave it as is. This is big enough, and it's going to be a cool looking marble. We're not adding any extra color to this. So yeah, definitely top down point of view would definitely be helpful. Just make sure your audio is super, super clean and people can hear you. That's the most important. And then your lighting is also really important. As you're working, don't try and turn a light super bright on your project. That you don't want to have the brightest light possible on your artwork. So what I would recommend is setting your camera up, and you can do practice live stream. So you do a live stream, but you have it unlisted, and you test it. And you test the camera setting A, camera setting B, camera setting C with different lighting. And you watch it, you watch your live stream, and you say, okay, what looks good to me? What makes sense? So you go in and you just watch your live stream. And then you look at it visually and say, that looks cool or that doesn't. And be honest with yourself. Yeah, you got to be honest with yourself. Yeah. Does this work or does it not work? Yeah, and definitely lighting would be really helpful. Make sure that if you have a light facing on your artwork, does it reflect? Is it like a bright light that will reflect back from paper or painting? Or do you need to put a softbox on there, meaning softbox, meaning you're not having bright light, like with a glare of a bulb, but more bright light diffused. I guess that's I don't know all the proper terms. I'm just taking you how I do it. No, no pookies. Lots of people making pookies, just not me. I can make you a poopy. I can't make a pookie, but I can make you a poopy. I'll make you a poopy if you want. Yeah. I'll make you a poop emoji. But no pookies. And then number 2, be comfortable talking to people. So for me, one of the things on here that's really important is I personally, this job that I have here is very isolated. I don't have anybody around. There's nobody in my studio right now, just me, myself, and Irene. And for me, it was hard mentally with social interactions because I'd be out here by myself. And it does get lonely. It really does. So live streaming allows me to interact with all of you. And 99% of the people are really freaking cool. You get some tools. You get people on here that want attention and they start trying to be really funny or make comments. And you just ignore them. Yeah, we could make a poop emoji for sure. Don't worry about a pookie. You don't need to know what a pookie is. You could look it up. You don't want any poopies? I don't want any poopies either, but I could make one. We could definitely make a poop emoji. Funny true story is I used to make a memorial that had a cat. So I make a memorial glass is one of my specialties, where we take ash from people or pets and infuse it into the glass. And I had this design where it was a cat that was curled into itself. And it was like the head was curled into the tail. And it was really cute. It was a really neat looking memorial. And then I had someone ask me to make it in brown. And when I got done making it in brown, it looked like a poop emoji. And so I had to discontinue the cat. In black, it looked fine. In white, it looked good. Even in like a sandy color, it looked good. But the minute I made a brown tabby cat type thing, it looked like a poop emoji. So I had to discontinue it and come up with a totally different cat. Yeah, I didn't even realize it till I was making it on live stream and someone said, "Hey, that looks like a poop emoji." I was like, "Oh crap, it does." And that's the other benefit of live streaming is I get a lot of cool ideas from the audience. Yeah. The audience usually gives me a lot of really good feedback as to what looks good, what doesn't. And it helps me. It's like having a test bed of people watching your content, figuring out what items work and what doesn't. And there we go. There's many versions of Pookie. All I can say is go watch God, what's the movie? Oh my God, what is the movie from Pookie? Oh crap. It's Wesley Snipes and Chris Rock. God, I can't remember the movie. What is the name of that movie? Anybody remember the name of the movie? I'm trying to figure it out now. I can't. Oh, I'm having a hard time remembering it. New Jack City. That's it. So the term Pookie came from New Jack City. All right, so we got this marble looking good so far. We're going to kind of get it round now. I'll show you what the marble looks like from my vision. So this is called borovision. This is where we bring it in and we filter out a lot of that bright light. So the flame itself is technically, right there, it looks very white. But when you put the filter in front of it, it looks blue. This is the actual color of the flame. So that bottom part is the actual color of the flame. It's like a baby blue. Yeah, it's New Jack City. Yeah, it definitely is that movie. That's where the term Pookie came from. And here we go. So we got to get rid of this little cave-in the middle. And it's based on Chris Rock's character in that movie. How do I have so much knowledge on movies? But because before I did live streaming, I had nothing but audiobooks and movies. That's how I entertained myself while glassblowing. Movies and audiobooks. I burned through the whole Harry Potter series in like 2 weeks. Audiobook. All right, so we've got this pretty round now. I'm going to show you the effects of what we're doing here. We're going to have to switch rods one more time to the other side here. But this looks good. So this was off of recycled glass. This was a project we did earlier with a blown glass iris. All right, so here's part of the reveal. This is what I was saying with when you do stuff, you go 3, 2, 1, and then you can see the colors bouncing through. So basically we took glass that would normally be thrown away and we recycled it into a functional marble that has just this planetary Jupiter look. And that's part of my live stream too. Yeah, we've been on for an hour and a half right now. You're not late at all, Dragonfly. We're all good. I'm just kind of doing an offbeat stream right now. We're talking about live streaming and the mistakes I made learning live streaming and the positives that I have learned. And mostly what I'm talking about is like I watched too many hours of guru videos. All right, we got to separate it here. I watched too many hours of videos of people talking about how to live stream, how to set your camera up, how to do this, how to do that. And for a talking head video, it's perfect. But for a live stream like mine or yours, because you're a lamp worker too, none of those settings work for this type of content. None of them. Nothing on a talking head video worked for an artistic video. At all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Like one of the biggest mistakes I made is notice the chandelier behind me. When I originally set up my live stream, everybody said, you got to have this camera with this lens. And it creates a blurry background so it focuses up here. Well, I don't want my chandelier in the background blurred. I don't want my chandelier blurred. I want people to be able to see it. But I went with the camera settings that everybody said to go with, and it just didn't fit the content correctly. So once I changed over to a different setting, and now the background is visually good, it helped my life. I literally quadrupled my views by changing a few simple settings. All right, we got to get rid of this little wobble in here. I'm going to show you the wobble. This part's pretty interesting, even if you're not into glassblowing. So watch the light reflection off of the ceiling or the side. So you'll see the lights. Watch it more towards the top end, that end, the top. As I'm rotating, see that wobble right there? I know it's hard to focus. But see how that light just wobbled around? So right here, I have right there, I have a valley. So when it does that and it shows the middle getting skinny and the two ends getting thick, I've got a valley, meaning there's a little valley of a dip in there. So we need to get rid of that. I also have a little scrubby section in here that's not blending very well. So we're going to have to encase it in some clear. And I'll show you that spot right here in a second. So this white section here, let me bring it over. So let me bring it up here. I'm going to hold it this way. So that little white streak right there, you can see it's kind of rough looking. So that glass isn't smooth on there. It's created like a sandpaper effect. And so it's not, that little white streak right there, it's not blending. It's got a rough texture to it. I need to get rid of that. But the rest of the colors are looking good. Let's see if I can bring it up really close. Right there, that white section, you can kind of see the bubbles in there, right there. So when I'm rolling it in my marble mold, I can feel this rough sandpaper feel to it. So we got to cover that up. I'm going to cover it with some amber purple because actually we're going to use a heavy color here. We're going to get rid of that sandpaper feel here. So it's going to come over here. Like that. And we covered it up. I'm going to take some clear and blend that through. So you can see we just added that texture to it, that really tall texture right there, that band of dark color. We're going to blend that in and get it to look really good. Get rid of that. So we're going to heat it up and blend it in there a little. What's up? How's everybody doing? Today's Monday, right? You played with BoroGlow again? Awesome. Yeah, the BoroGlow is the glow-in-the-dark glass that I created some years ago. And it is a true glow-in-the-dark glass. All right, so we got a really cool little streak in there. So we're going to take that and actually blend it a little better here in just a minute. Right now I encased it with clear. Like that. So we got that dark section, but I'm going to blend it in a little better. Let's go ahead and do that now. Get it superheated. I think I need a, oh, you'll work perfect. Use this guy right here. We're going to create these little Jupiter swirls in here. This way. A little bit more. Tiny bit more. Okay, so we got some Jupiter swirls in there now. Yeah, it's been Monday. I always forget what day it is. Yeah, it's really hard to remember when you're streaming almost every day. They all blend the same. All right, so we're going to take those and then we're going to come through and we're just going to start adding them in here. A little bigger. But we finished Fiery Mom's calligraphy pen up tonight, or today. Burned off the end. I like the new calligraphy pen, by the way. I think the calligraphy pen came out really good. Every day is glassblowing day. It is really. For me, every day is glassblowing day, for sure. Oh, who said hello? What's up, Huddle? Huddled 9. How are you? All right, so now you can see we got, well, you can't see the swirls, damn it. I'm sorry. There, you can see we did some micro swirls in there, and they'll come out a little darker here after I start blending it in a little better. Good to see you. Huddled 9 said hello. Your first watch, Glassworker and live. Awesome. Yeah, this is my fun stuff. Right now, we're just answering questions on how I built my live stream. Got monetized in 41 days, hit my watch hours pretty quick. I think I just pulled my stats. We have, so from September 1st to now to today, we have 6,200,000 views on YouTube. And my watch time hours from September 1st to now is roughly 99,000 watch hours. So that's from September 1st to 2025 to now, 99,000 watch hours and 6.2 million views. And that's just on YouTube. When you count TikTok into it, I'm at like, let me do the math here. TikTok, we have 14 million views and watch hours roughly, don't quote me, but I think it's like 148,000, somewhere around there. Like 148,000 hours between the two platforms. The YouTube's definitely, for the watch hours, has been the big monster. Yeah, the watch hours on YouTube definitely kick in. Because you get watch hours after I finish this live stream, it'll archive and someone could go in and rewatch it. And that counts for your watch hours. But the fastest way to grow on YouTube, if you want to grow your live stream and get monetized, or grow on monetization, for me has been live streaming. Live streaming vertical content in the shorts feed. And we were monetized in 41 days, start to finish, which is pretty fast, I think. Okay, we're looking good here. I'm hoping you can see these swirls when they cool off. Let's bring it back over. Like I said, I get to hang out with all of you. It keeps me entertained. Yeah, the swirls are not popping in just yet. So as this color starts to cool, the little swirls right there, all that light section will get darker and darker. See if we can do it in real time. Let's give it a few seconds. Give it about 15, 20 seconds, and you're going to see it getting darker like it is right now. getting a little darker, a little bit darker, a little bit. So that really dark caramel color will be integrated throughout this whole thing here. All right, and I think I don't know if we have to necessarily do the other side, but I'm going to do it just to be on the cautious side. We're going to bring it over and punty up. There we go. We're going to bring it down and burn this off. But yeah, if you have any questions about how I monetize or what methods I use, feel free to ask in chat. I'll try and catch you. Wilbur. Yeah, no streaming on game. Whispering noises. You're talking to ASMR? Yeah. Yeah, people definitely love to interact and participate in live streams. I always try and include the audience in there. A lot of times you'll hear me say in my live stream, okay, what color do you guys think we should do? And audience has been very good in interactions with that. But yeah, I will definitely have the audience participate in the design aspects. And I don't tie it to like gifters. So that's one mistake I don't recommend anybody doing. If you're doing a live stream and you have interactions with audience, don't make someone pay to be a participant. You want someone to gift or pay based on the fact that they enjoy your content, not make a decision because they paid you to make that decision. I don't like that aspect. I don't encourage it. I don't recommend it. It's not my thing. If someone gifts, it's because they were kind enough to say, hey, I enjoyed your content. Not a, if you want to get recognized, you got to gift. I don't like that. It's definitely not my thing. Move this up a little bit so you guys can see. There we go. We're almost done with this marble. And I think we're good to go. Just got to smooth out that little polish right there. There we are. All right, let's bring it over and see what we got. We added some darker colors to this, and I think they finally popped out. Oh, yeah, they did. So check out the back half of this marble where the rod is attached. Oh, it's a little streaky right there, though. I don't know if I like that. That looks really off. That looks dumb right there. That doesn't go with the marble. Yeah, I gotta get rid of that. That does not fit what I want at all. So we're gonna really have to hit it hard and blend that. So I'm going to streak it down through there. We're going to create like a little zigzag pattern in it. Hopefully get some nice colors bouncing through there. Originally, I was just doing this as a scrap marble. That ridge may be too far in there. Not sure. All right, so let's get this all blended in and see what we got. I'm probably going to streak some blue on there. We'll counter it with that. Actually, black would look really good too. Do I happen to have a little bit of black? I do. Come on, grab it. No. All right, let's streak this around. We're going to add a little spiral streak in here. And my phone is ringing for some stupid reason. It's supposed to be set on mute. I apologize for the phone action. I have it. I was supposed to be set on do not disturb. So I apologize for that. Okay, so let me show you what I did here. We added some streaks all the way around now, some little coils. And we'll see if that kind of breaks everything up. Yeah, I'm supposed to go down to the facility where my mom's at right now because I'm not going to get too personal with everything, but I don't know why, but like my mom's at this facility, a rehab facility for just getting better, and they're not. The doctor's notes are not matching the nursing notes. So the nurse's notes say everything's fine. The doctor's notes say nothing's fine. It's driving me a little nuts for that. Okay. We're going to change all this up a little now. Got a long way to go here. Okay, so I had the middle section of this marble. It did not look good. So we're going to change it all up. Can you say what state? I'm in Washington State. The state of Washington, looking for Bigfoot. I'm on a Bigfoot hunt. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. All right, so what we did is I took all those coils, we wrapped them around, and we created that little bit of chaos in the middle there. We're going to elongate this marble again. So we're going to stretch it back out, twist it up a little, and then push it back together. And this should be very, very done after I do that. So first thing is we're going to heat it up and we're going to let it drip down. For that, I am going to actually use the close-up camera view. Like this. Central Ohio. Awesome. I have not been to Ohio. It's one state I have not been. Australia. Welcome in. That's definitely a country on my bucket list. I would love to go see Australia. I'd love to see if there's any glassblowers in Australia that I could visit too. Won't be for a while, but I would love to see Australia for sure. All right, so we're bringing this down. We took all those lines. I'm going to twist it up a little. And then we'll push it back into a marble shape here. So we created like a, kind of like almost like, it looks like a hot air balloon ready. We're going to bring it over here and do the same thing on the other side. elongate it, and then we'll push it back into a marble. I'll leave it out here so you guys can watch. Actually, we'll use the filter. So this filter is exactly like my glasses, and we'll bring it in here. So now you can see the action, how I see the world. So that's how I see everything through the fire versus that. So my lenses and my glasses filter out all the extra light that's coming through, like that. And it looks pretty good once you get it down. We got to give it another puntey up here and give it a little twist one more time. And this all started because I had a little white streak in there that was really messing up the marble. Had a rough sandpaper texture feel to it. All right, let's go ahead and burn this off and get it back into a marble shape and looking like something I would be proud to sell. Because the way it was, I was not happy with it. I wouldn't have sold it the way it is. So now you can see we elongated it, we streaked everything back out. And this is one of those things with lighting I was talking about. Notice I bring in the extra light, and now you can see the color a lot better. If I left it like that, you guys wouldn't get a good visual of it. But when I bring in the extra lighting here, you can get a little bit more detailed running through it. And this is the type of thing I was talking about with your live streams. Figuring out little things that no one else does that you can do. And that's one of the important things about learning about live streaming. A camera, like a long form video or a short video, you can go in and you can change the camera settings and filter things and edit. Live stream, you can't edit. You are literally live and there's no do-overs. You're literally on the spot. All right, here we go. So we're melting it back in. We'll use the filter again so you guys can see the, so you can see how it's kind of dripping down. This is the angle that I'm approaching right there. We're just letting gravity sink this marble back down into its shape. Like that. And without that, that's what visually you would see in person. But with the filter and my glasses, that's how you see it. The only drawback about using a filter permanently is you miss out on 80% of the color. So like pink and purple through that lens look identical. You can't tell the difference between pink and purple. Absolutely cannot tell. If I show it to you, you would just be like, yeah, I couldn't tell. So you would miss out on a lot of the fun stuff about this. There we are. Let's go ahead and pop in the large view. So you can see, so this is my marble mold here. And this is how I craft the marbles. It is made of graphite, graphite being pencil lead. And it's very, very high density pencil lead or graphite. Graphite comes in a lot of different grades. For glass, you want to have super high grade, very dense. Bring it out here and get it nice and blended. And that is what I'm talking about. That looks really good. Now I'm happy. So we got that Jupiter swirl at the top up there. We got kind of like that Jupiter looking swirl. It gets darker as it cools. We got the little side view here. We got the little checkered pattern in the side. Then we're going to go ahead and melt in the other section here. Now, pay attention to that. If you got 5 minutes, I'm going to punty up here. When I come back to this section, it's going to look totally different. So as the glass cools, it changes composition. The colors change completely. What contributes to the colors are made from metal oxides. So you can do like chromium oxide makes green, gold oxide makes your cranberry or pink, silver oxide helps contribute to your browns, cobalt oxide obviously makes cobalt, uranium oxide makes uranium glass, which is what's behind me. All the glowing glass behind me is uranium. That really bright green glass is uranium glass, also referred to as Vaseline glass. And that's one of my favorite materials to work with. But yeah, metals create the color in glass. And like black is one of those colors that's a little different. So black is either an oversaturated blue or an oversaturated green. So it either has a ton of cobalt, so dense that it starts to look black, or a ton of chromium that it starts to look black as well. So yeah, you definitely want to have different colors bouncing through. What's up, Chris? Jennifer, how are you? And for those that were asking about the past couple days of items I'm making, I went on the community post and I posted some pictures of items that are available. If you're interested in any of the items from the community tab, let us know. But I just posted a whole bunch of items on the community tab. All right, so now we just have to round this out, get it out of the egg shape. Use the filter again, we'll bring it in, and we'll change up that direction. Let's punch it in a little bit, there we go. And now you can see the filter a lot better. So that is exactly how I see the world. Do that. I probably should set a camera up with this permanently on here. So I don't have to hold the tab up there. But the problem is the flame, I'm constantly moving objects, so the flame would adjust it. Oh, I got a big ass air pocket in here. Oh my God. So this will be an interesting part. We'll bring it in, let it cool off as a little bit here. You're going to see a little air bubble. Actually, it's not a little air bubble. It's a pretty big one. Well, not right there. See that air bubble right there? We got to get that out of there. That's a big air bubble. As I start to make this marble, that air bubble will possibly pop and then create a little divot. And we don't want that in there at all. So we're going to lean that out. There's two ways to get rid of it. You can choke it out by pushing in and out, or we can just remove it by taking off the excess glass. That. There we go. Still there? Yeah, there's a little remnants of it. So now we choked out that bubble, removed it, and there's no more bubble in there. But you can see the swirl is starting to evolve. Once we get that air bubble out, I can confidently make that swirl and not worry about having a big air pocket pop later. And here we go. Can cracked glass be repaired? Some can, some can't. What the hell was that? Did you guys see a flash? Or am I just going crazy? Was there a big flash on the screen? I swear to God, there was a flash. What's up, Robbie? Ghosty, I know. That's what I'm thinking. Did you see a flash? I swear to God, it did. And there should be no flash in here. Nothing should be doing that. There was some, okay, yeah, that might be ghosty. So if you're new to my live stream, I do have a studio ghost, and it is a true story. It is real. I have a studio ghost in here. It's not harmful. It doesn't do anything to me, but every once in a while, it lets itself be known. I can have glass on my bench and it starts moving it, or it makes noises. Or there was one time there was a shadow that came all the way across my bench. That was probably the craziest one. The time the shadow came across my bench, that was the crazy one. I know, ghosty was, it has to be ghosty. All right, so now we're just getting this rounded out. Yeah, I'm very cognizant of, I'm very, very cognizant of lighting changes. All right, last little bit, we're going to round this guy out. So I've been spending a lot of time on these marbles because I'm trying to answer questions. If you have questions about live streaming, if you have questions about growing your channel, I will try to help you best I can answering questions. I'm not a guru. I don't know everything by any chance or by any respect, but I just know what works for me. And if any of my advice can help you grow your channel, I definitely want to be able to do that, answer any questions. So I started back in September, I believe it was September 5th, streaming full-time on YouTube. And we got monetized in 41 days solely off of live streaming. So from September 5th or the 1st, roughly somewhere in there, we got monetized 41 days later. Solely from live streaming. There we go. All right, last punty one more time to the other side. I think we're good to go here. But yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on the marbles. But I'm trying to talk to everybody on here. Yeah, this is looking pretty sick, though. This is awesome. I like this. So this is a scrap glass from the iris we did the other night. I added a little bit of that dark black in the middle section because we had a problem there. But yeah, we definitely got some cool swirls bouncing through here. How long have I been eating YouTube? YouTube has been since September 5th, roughly full time. I had my account for a very, very long time. I just never did anything with it. I was solely streaming on TikTok for a very long time. And I made the change over to YouTube to try and multi-stream, which I'm very glad I did. but I was solely on TikTok for a very long time. And TikTok happened because of COVID. So before COVID happened, my business was focused around memorial glass, and we did in-person glass blowing experiences where you could come in and you didn't need any experience. You could come in and for 2 hours, you got to be a glass blower with my help, and you got to leave with an item that you made, which was very cool and a lot of fun. And I was doing that through Airbnb experiences. So Airbnb was booking all my appointments and set us up. We were booked literally a year out. We had a year of waiting lists come in and do experiences. And COVID hit. And overnight, my income went from doing very well to zero. Because when COVID came around, no more in-person experiences. So I couldn't have anybody at the studio, couldn't bring anybody in for the experiences. Airbnb canceled everything. So overnight, we went from being booked out for an entire year to nothing. And I mean nothing. And I had to figure out an alternate plan to get the word out there that we were still in business. So, like I said, I tried breaking into Instagram, but Instagram was already dominated by other glass blowers that had spent the time building it up. I'm not mad at them. And so I went on to TikTok, which was easy to get on for live streaming. And that's where I started my live stream journey, is on TikTok, because COVID had literally kicked my business's butt. We were, like I said, we were booked out for over a year through Airbnb experiences. And yeah, I got killed overnight from COVID. And ever since then, I've always said, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket ever again. And we're going to go ahead and start utilizing different methods of income streams. So TikTok was really good for growing the business. TikTok's great for discovery. It's probably the fastest discovery option you have is TikTok, even today. Second would be YouTube. There's no discovery on Twitch. Oh, this color's looking good. Notice the swirls starting to come in. We got the colors kind of changing as we go. Look at that ring of color starting to change. Look at it get darker and darker as it cools. That's the amber purple kicking in. But yeah, we literally got killed overnight, business-wise. All right, we're going to take that and pop that off. And then there was literally no help for us financially, because we didn't qualify for any of the PPP loans because I was an independent contractor and I didn't have like a corporate job that I couldn't show up to. I was an independent business. So they didn't help us at all. And there we go. Let's check out the side view. All right, ready for the reveal? In 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Look at that. What should we name this? Should we name this like Tiger Stripe or something? What should we name this marble? We got to come up with a name for this. This one's kind of funny. And there's the other side that will pop in. The color will come in here pretty good. So all that yellow area right there, the yellow ring, will look like that dark purple right there once it cools off a little. All right, we're going to pop that in the kiln. There we go. And that one is done. So I wanted to cover a different philosophy on here with glass. Infinity sphere would be good, yeah. Picasso swirl, No, no, Wild Thing. Ooh, I like that one. Who said that? OC Love? I like that. Wild Thing. I like that name. Uh, when you was growing up, what was your first job? First job was a janitor at my high school. So I was on I was a three-sport athlete, and I needed to make some money. So the school hired me and three other people from the wrestling team to, during the summer, to go in and be janitors at the school. We didn't do so good. We were not good janitors for that. Squirrely good. I like that too. Tigger's spinning top. Ooh, I like that one too. So that was first job. Second one was auto detailer, part-time. So I did auto detailing for a while as a part-time summer job too, which was kind of cool. I did like that job. I liked being able to take a crappy looking car, and turn it into magic. That was kind of fun. All right, so we're going to take this lime green tubing and we're going to turn it into a pen. I've got the nib on there from the calligraphy pen from the other night, the one that I didn't want to use. And we're going to turn this into a funky little pen for the calligraphy. Yeah, so for a while I did auto detailing for a summer job. But yeah, the janitor one was it was pretty funny. The five of us that got picked for that, we didn't do a good job. We were actually pretty terrible. We figured out there were certain spaces where you could go underneath the lockers and sleep. So yeah, it didn't have real good work ethic back then for like working. It was not a good experience. Dragon's Eye, yeah, that works too. All right, let's go ahead and start forming. So we're going to make this into a pen. We're just going to create some little texture to it. Going to heat it up and pull it down a little. Like that. Now I'm going to do it right below that section. Then we're going to pop a little ring in there. So we're going to make a little UFO disc in the middle. But before I do that, I got to bring it down and create two little constrictions here. So now you can see we got constriction, constriction, and then this bobble. So we're going to create a little UFO shape in the middle. We're going to tighten this flame up and we're going to heat it up. And as I'm heating it up, I'm going to gently push it together and it's going to create a little ring in there. And you only skim the flame. You don't want to put it all the way in the flame. You want to skim the top of it. And then you get that little UFO ring like that. And then we'll bring it down and create a couple more little condensed versions here. Bring it down. And then one more here. Like that. And then we're going to taper it down from here, and we're going to add that calligraphy nib to it. So this is the full-blown calligraphy nib. We made Fiery Mom's calligraphy pen last night. Burn it off here. Okay, now we got kind of like a little pen shape. We got the little UFO disc up here. Just to kind of shape it. Kind of looks like a dagger, to be honest. Has this like dagger look to it. Then we're going to take this and we're going to open it up. We're going to pop a little hole in this. Look at that little bubble. That little bubble there. And a lot of people always ask, do you have to have super strong lung power to do this? No, you do not. In fact, you just need to have control. So you just need to have control, breath control, pretty good breath control. But you don't need a lot of power. Oh, where's the nib? There it is. Okay, let's not burn my finger again. This is the one I burned my finger on last night. And we're going to fuse it on there and get it blended in really nice. Fuse it on there really well. Yeah, I definitely burned my damn finger last night pretty good. That's why I didn't come back on. It wouldn't stop burning. It was sizzled. Luckily, I put the Silverdyne on it, and it helped a lot, but man, it was not pleasant. All right, we got that little point on there now. So this will be a traditional ink pen, like with the dipping pen for calligraphy. I created this little nib last night, which we ended up not using, but we can use it for here. All right, we got to bring it down and get it tipped off really well. Put a little tiny ball at the end there so it writes well. And that's it. So we created the calligraphy nib on there. Maybe if I hold this here, it'll show it. There, now you can see that calligraphy nib. So that'll pick up the inkwell right there. And it should technically write pretty good. We're going to park that in the kiln. Like that. All right, I need to take a break for a little bit. Yeah, it's been 2.5 hours. Hypnotic, I like that for the marble name. Yeah, that's a good name. But yeah, I'm going to take a break. About every 2.5 hours, you should get up and take a break from live streaming. I might run the same theme tonight, answering questions about live streaming and how I actually got through it and was able to monetize. Before I do that, do you guys have any questions about live streaming? If you do, feel free to go ahead and shout them out in the chat. And I will try to answer any questions. Yeah. I'll definitely be on tonight for sure. But if you have any questions right now while I'm not working in front of the flame, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Yeah, thank you, Melissa. Thank you for hanging out. You would like to call dibs on the marble I just made? Absolutely, for sure, Jen. Jennifer, absolutely. Is it worth live streaming? Yes, it is definitely worth it to live stream. There are a couple different reasons. For me, one, it's a monetization issue, so you can do that. And two, it helps me socially interact with people. It's good for my mental health. How do you get over the shyness? I I don't know how to answer that properly other than you just talk. You have to do two things. You're going to have people out there that are going to attack you. Forget them. Okay, they don't matter. Okay, ever. You're going to find that you're going to have 80% people that are really cool with you. Those are your people. The 20% are the bad. No, sunglasses. These aren't sunglasses. These are filters for my live streaming. I'll show you why I have them on. They are glass-blowing glasses. We'll pop this in here, and you can see the flame. We're going to use the tight view here. And then you can see how it filters out the light versus that. So I wear these for safety, not any other reason. Talk to the wall from shyness. Yeah, you can definitely do that. You know, back when I was going through boot camp, I was right next to the Marine Corps drill instructor school. My boot camp was right next door to drill instructor school. And I remember leaving one day, and for drill instructors to teach drill instructors, they were yelling at a tree when we left in the morning. They were yelling at a tree. When we got back, they were still yelling at the trees. So they had to practice yelling at trees. I thought that was pretty damn funny. Yeah, it was pretty funny to watch them yelling at trees. Ever since then, I kind of looked at it and went, wow, man, they have it worse than we do. Oh, we definitely have great mods to delete the jerks. Yes, you do. We do, Dragonfly. That's right. We have great mods. And yes, we have great people on here. 80% of the people are going to be your people. And like I said, 20% are going to be, just ignore them. They don't matter. They just don't matter. You know, they are just never going to be a part of your people. A, it doesn't pay to argue with them at all. And B, they're going to come and go. So that, you know, they matter as much as belly lint. You know, the little lint in your belly, that's about as important as the 20% are. You know, 20% belly lint. That's how I refer to them. I call them belly lint. That's right, Red Squeak. All right, so it doesn't look like too many people have too many questions, but we'll go ahead and I'll be back live in a little bit. We'll be back on, so when I come back, we will be on TikTok and YouTube multi-streaming. So we'll be doing TikTok and YouTube. But thank you for hanging with me. I appreciate all of you, and we'll see you in a little bit. I got to get up and stretch.